Hey folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man, at your services. How are you all? Hope you're doing very, very well. Now, yesterday, in fact you'll find it's my previous video, the one immediately preceding this video, was meant to be the start of a new regular feature. Just a little daily segment, just a bit of fun, a bit of daily fun to start off our day. At whatever time of day your day starts off, you put that little video on and it's a piece of music. It could be a pop song, it could be a rock song, it could be an anthem, a chant, a drum session, bagpipes would be fantastic, or a piece of film music. It could be anything, but the idea behind it is it's a little bit more uplifting. A bit of, sort of, it's interesting, it's exciting, it's joyous, or it's just, but nothing morose. I do plenty enough of that music-wise. I'm thinking back to that video about the music of a heart attack. Going to be one of the most bizarre things I've ever come up with, but anyway, it's out there now. So, you may be wondering what these two guys are doing here. They have no bearing on this video or this piece of music, but they do have a tenuous link, shall we say, to a forthcoming video later on today. A proper big film review. That thing I normally do properly, instead of these stupid little rambling things which copyright holders and license holders could go, no, you're not having that, even though you're promoting it, we're saying no. So, without further ado, have any of you seen The Flight Attendant? Kaley Cuoco. Yeah, it sounds like an island in the air, a Hawaiian island. Kaley Cuoco from The Big Bang. She optioned the rights to this book called The Flight Attendant, which is a very crazy, inane, bizarre, off-kilter murder mystery. And she then plays the flight attendant. And this is on Sky One. And I think there's only 8 episodes in the first season. And I'm only 4 episodes in. But it's great. It's very quirky. It's very left field. And I like that kind of thing. But the idea is, it's loosely based on Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment. I know, where the hell am I going with this? Which is detailing the real craziness that takes place when someone is involved in a murder and the repercussions and insanity ensues. Because this Kaley Cuoco plays the flight attendant on transatlantic draws, long-haul flights, domestic flights, but she's alcoholic. She's got a history which you're only learning bits about. A father who was perhaps abusive, but certainly a hunter, and initiated her into the ways of hunting. And I know a thing or two about that. But alcoholic, as I say, and likes to put it about a bit, has fun wherever she goes, and she meets up with this Russian guy who was a guy that we'd seen in the film The Invitation and in Game of Thrones as well. And she cops off with him, and in Bangkok they have a night of passion. She wakes up the next morning, he's there. Goes and opens the windows, the curtains, lovely, turns around, and he's been slit across the throat from ear to ear, and he is dead. He is dead. Panic sets in. Did she do it? Who did it? She clears up the crime scene. She makes a getaway. She gets back on the plane for the return trip. The FBI is waiting for all the flight crew because they know something happened. They know this murder took place. So they're all interviewed, but she's panicking all the time. Even though she didn't do it. Or did she do it? Because now the mental faculties begin to unravel. The doors to her sanity unhinge themselves. So it gets very, very weird. And we find out that the guy himself was the son of a very powerful, well-to-do and powerfully connected family who their company seemingly was laundering money for the Russian mafia. And they are a Russian family. So she's going to try and clear her name and to try to find out for herself what the hell is going on. She infiltrates the family. She begins to learn other bits, gets people that know more than they're letting on. And into this mix we have an assassin, Miranda Croft, who is she's played with an English accent, And she's clearly this high-ranking, but also quite neurotic assassin she's clearly the one that's killed this guy, or perhaps we think, and then she starts wiping out other people, and she's going after Kaley Cuoco as well. She's going after her, and the two of them have a few, so far, in the 4 episodes I've seen, there's been a few little confrontations, which Kaley Cuoco has managed to get away from each time. The FBI are involved, everyone's involved, but the really intriguing thing about it is that she's having these strange visions, and these visions take her back to this drunken night of debauchery, and she's piecing together bits that happened. Yeah, you're thinking The Hangover, but there's an added mystery here. That guy, because he's from Game of Thrones and The Invitation, he's a good-looking fella, you can't just have him in the first episode and get throat slashed halfway through. No, he comes back as well. A little bit like Jack in American Werewolf in London, he comes back to visit David, his best friend. Jack was killed by the werewolf, but David's bitten by it but survives and becomes a werewolf. So Jack comes back from the afterlife in varying states of decay to warn his friend and tip him off as to what's happening. This guy keeps coming back to her in visions, and between the two of them, they're trying to work out what happened. He's no fucking good because he doesn't remember anything. He's dead, for God's sake. So, and he's even creeping back into her drunken memories of her childhood. And she's like, what are you doing here? But they have these conversations and these discourses, and it's fascinating to watch. It's a very, as I say, it's off-kilter. It's one of these sort of weird shows where you completely, the rug is pulled from under you all the time. But it's great. It's great. Now, Kilt-Man, you said track of the day. Yeah, I know. The title theme to this soundtrack, to this show, The Flight Attendant, is by a composer called Blake Neeley. Blake Neeley does a lot of TV shows. He did the Tom Hanks thing, Greyhound, a couple of years ago. He's done many superhero shows like The Flash and other stuff like. And he's great. But what he's done here is a wonderful title track, which is just so crazed, warped, jazzy, funky, very 60s. And it goes along with the theme and the idea of this show entirely, which everything is not as it seems. It's all kind of just kaleidoscopic and weird. And the opening title sequence is a surrealist delight of sort of title credits, bizarre sort of imagery, which all relate to what we know of Kaley Cuoco's character and the story itself. And it reminds you of Maurice Binder's elaborate, surreal opening title for James Bond, a lot of James Bond stuff, but particularly Saul Bass, who worked with Alfred Hitchcock. Things like Charade, things like North by Northwest, these elaborate animated intros with the theme tune playing, and it kind of gives you clues as to what's happening. He also did the Man with the Golden Arm. So wonderful stuff, very surrealist, and the music goes completely in cahoots with this. It's jazzy, it's alarming, it's quirky, it's fun. It definitely brings a grin to your face. So anyway, good God, I've waffled when I should be playing the damn music. So here we go. This is Blake Neeley's title track to Sky One's The Flight Attendant. Now, get your lug-holes around this. Ticking clocks up there. She's forever in situations where she's got to try and get herself out quickly. That jazzy. It's kind of like a mousy little effect. Propulsive, it's energetic, and the visuals are she's flying through, dropping from a plane, meeting a guy, falling in love, they're in bed, a big hand crushes them. Her memory of rabbits features heavily, and I don't know the full significance of the rabbits, but we see these demonic black rabbits bounding towards you, which you get with that scampering theme, and they've got it in their mouth. That was it. It's going to start again now. There's a Mission Impossible Lalo Schifrin feel to it. It's completely 60s, and I love that. It's 60s, warped, way out, funky, jazzy, snazzy chaos. You can tell they're having fun doing this as well. A small ensemble. I'm thinking cello on that. It's got this sense of momentum which I always adore in tracks that just get you going. But it's funny as well. It reminds me a bit of Mouse Hunt. Remember Mouse Hunt? Wonderful movie. And a great soundtrack by Alan Silvestri. It's a jazzy session, isn't it? You can imagine them, they're just going to town. I am not a fan of jazz, just, off-kilter, that warped, where anything goes. I don't get it, I just don't get it. But I do get that, and that fits so well with this humorous, witty, scary, it is violent, there is violence in there, there's a lot of swearing, so, don't go thinking, it's just some little hokey, sort of pseudo Alfred Hitchcock presents. No, it's not. It's very modern in that respect. There's also and she's forever drinking as well, almost like little miniatures. She goes to the funeral, the wake of this fella. She meets his very intense family, and particularly his mother. She's trying to probe, but it's a big mansion house, it's all like free wine floating around, and she's forever drinking 2 wines. She is more than half cut for 99% of the time, and I like that. But the flashbacks to her childhood, when she discovers drink, I love it. Did someone mention drink? Hey! But yeah, the plot. As I say, I'm only halfway through it. I'm liking it, but it's one of those shows that I think you can, there's that word again, momentum. I think you can lose momentum with TV shows unless you keep up with it. Or I'm trying hard not to binge stuff now, where you just, one more episode, no, fucking stop that, stop doing it, just take a break. But that's the danger. If you take a break of more than a day or two, you might not get back into it. And that's what's happened with Flight Attendant. We were all enjoying it, me, Mrs. Kilt-Man, Kilt daughter was enjoying it. It was all great stuff. And then we've had a couple of days where we've not returned to it. And although this is now inspiring me to go and put it on again later on, but I don't know. And if you're like me, and there's a show on TV that everyone's talking about it, if you haven't seen it, what rock are you living under? Oh, fuck off. I hate all that. And the more that the media and people say, you should be watching it. Oh, did you see the latest episode? Oh, the more that happens, the less inclined I am to watch it. That thing, Line of Duty, that British cops investigating cops thing, I've never seen any of it. But everyone, please shut the fuck up about Line of Duty. I don't care. I don't want to see any of it. Why? Because you people around me and on social media and interviewing all the fucking cast have drummed it into me that you must watch it. Well, no. And this is me, and I'm the guy that sits here, reviews movies, and says, like, you gotta watch this. Oh, the irony, the hypocrisy. It's something that Dostoevsky would write about. It's so quirky. It's got that Lalo Schifrin Mission Impossible sort of feel to it, but laced with a lot more 60s shenanigans and juiced up with this incredible jazzy element. But coupled with those visuals, those very Morris Binder, Saul Bass inspired visuals, and I think it's a Japanese guy that's done the artwork for it, the animation for it, but it's great, and it's just, you sit there with a big grin on your face and you're watching it. So anyway, folks, go on, we'll do it one more time. What the hell? Hoping it's not like Lost, that the writers don't box themselves into a little friggin' corner. Lost was crap anyway. Overhyped. So many of these things are. But there's enough intrigue in this to keep you going. It's silly, it's just silly enough to make you realise that you don't know what's going to happen next, and you can't trust anybody whatsoever. And the very fact that she's having visitations from a dead guy throws all her planning and her assumptions and her theories into complete disarray. And I love that. So you don't know who to put your bets on, you know, put your money on, and believe and trust in. Brilliant. Folks, there you go. I'm going to stop that before it starts again. Oh, that was a close one. Folks, I'm going to be back later on with a big, mad 80s throwback review for a movie which is just boobs and blood, and it's chaos writ large in pure exploitation schlock, and you guys are going to love it. And if you haven't seen it, where have you been? You've been living under a rock? We'll discuss that later. And these guys will come into play. So, in the meantime, and this ever random, completely going off on tangents in between time, please be happy. Be careful. Watch who you cop off with on flights, especially overseas flights, ending up in the Far East. And if in doubt, just keep drinking, y'all. And I don't know if you can hear that, but Mrs. Kilt-Man is now doing her Taoist, Buddhist, chanting, monkey type, well, not monkey, not as in like eating bananas and swinging from trees, but Buddhist monks. She's doing her meditation and her stretching and all this existential stuff. I think I'll go and join her. I'm going to see you all later. Flight 666 now boarding.